Hello, everyone, and welcome to Now This is Podcasting. I'm your host, Hamish Smith, and I'm joined by my co host, Ruaridh. Welcome onto the
Hello.
show. Right, so in this podcast, it's going to be everything Star Wars, anything Star Wars, you name it, we'll be talking about it. And we're just going to dive right in here with our first topic. So, Ruaridh, do you want to get us underway? What is our first topic?
Well, it's a bit of old news now, but it's still something worth talking about. The Bad Batch, focal
Indeed.
point of the opening to season 7. It was originally created back in 2013, 2014, but of course the Clone Wars was cancelled, so they could
Yeah.
not make these episodes. You could find some old, like very pulled back animations for it, but we finally got to see the come to the screen in season 7's episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, the Bad Batch arc, if you may. So yeah, now we've got official confirmation that we're going to get a mini series, or well, I don't really know how long it's going to be.
Well, diving right into it's looking good. Like, obviously, we've seen our four main members. We've got Hunter Tech, Crosshair Wrecker, and then obviously new addition Echo, who joined at the end of the arc just there. Should have said spoiler alert, but I kind of expect if you've hopped onto this podcast, you'll probably have seen it. But
Yeah,
nonetheless,
it's a bit of old news.
yeah, it's quite old news, but there's not been much on about it, so it's still kind of in the news. Obviously, the Mandalorian's drowned it out, and we'll get to that later on in the show. But in our eyes, it's just as big. It might, even for you, Rory, it might be even bigger than the Mandalorian season
Yes,
2.
as a massive fan of the Clone Wars era, it's a big for me, is because this series is going to take place after Order 66, and
Yeah.
that's what excites me the most, because I want to know if these guys even had their inhibitor chips, if these guys carried out Order 66.
It'll be bizarre to see. I obviously personally going into my opinion and stuff. As I said at the start before we started recording, I said this is a debate. Say what you want here. In my opinion, I think they will have carried it out, but I think they would have went through the same treatment as Rex did and got their chips removed not long after. But obviously, we didn't see anything in them from Rebels. We didn't hear about them in Rebels. They weren't when Rex and I can't. What's the name of the clone? Who else was in Rebels? There's
Rex was with Gregor and Wolf.
Yeah. Gregor and Wolf. I've not seen that far into Rebels just yet. We didn't hear anything about them in Rebels, did we?
No, we did
No.
not.
So we don't really know. Order 66, like we can only toss around theories and opinions with what happens in Order 66. But I think they did carry it out, and then they got their chips removed, maybe by another clone, maybe by someone else. I think a really good theory. Now, this is totally off my own back, but I think it'd be really nice to see someone like Maz removing the inhibitor chips, and then they become bounty hunters at Maz's castle.
That is definitely interesting. I mean, obviously Maz was alive during, the Republic and the Empire, and then obviously the First Order. I'm not so sure about that. It's certainly possible. I'm not saying that's not.
It's a wild theory. Like it's totally something I've come up with and something I'd like to see. But I don't think it's something that they'll go through with. I think it'd be nice to see, or at least reference to someone like Maz. But get your theory out there, Rory. What are you thinking?
I doubt they would have been with a Jedi at the 26. So in that sense, they might not have carried it out, but they
Yeah.
might have still have become, at least initially, loyal to the Empire. Of course, even during the Clone Wars, they were on the Republic side, but they weren't exactly on the front lines fighting for the Republic. They were doing, dangerous escapades off on their own somewhere.
Yeah, well, they give me kind of X-Men Deadpool vibes,
Sort
like
of anti-heroes.
yeah, kind of, but they're still at the end of the day they're still glorified as heroes in the viewer's eyes.
I think it might be a case of initially being part of the Empire and maybe finding a way out of that.
I
You know,
think what would be nice to see is some like a run-in with an Inquisitor or something, because obviously we know a bit about the Grand Inquisitor, we know a bit about like the Second Sister, all that lot. It'd be nice to see a bit more regarding the Inquisitor. So I think that'd be perfect for like Wrecker or something to have a run-in with them.
Yeah, it's
And like Wrecker having his bad mouth, it'd be nice to see.
Yeah, obviously, the Emperor became sort of disillusioned and phased them out
Yeah.
in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So maybe it's them getting phased out, but because of their genetic mutations, the Emperor might try and command them to be killed, which could be
Mhm.
an interesting story arc of them trying to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much they could do, and to be honest, I think we could talk about the Bad Batch and After Order 66 all day. But if that's everything you've got to say, I would like to move on to question two because question two is a good one.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So obviously, we've got season one confirmed. Hopefully,
Yes, this is confirmed, and I'll just put it out there as well. Dave Filoni will be involved, and it
yeah,
should, if I'm correct, it should be in the same sort of animation style as the Clone Wars itself. Which I love that animation style. I'm completely
yeah.
happy with that.
It's probably the best animation style. Question two is previous missions. Obviously, we've only really seen them on one mission and heard about a couple of others. How would you like to see them incorporate more previous missions? And obviously, it's after Order 66. We're into the Empire now. I think the only way they could do this is through flashbacks.
Flashbacks or maybe a prequel episode.
Yeah, or the not so handsome way of doing it, and that's them just talking about it. Which I
Yeah,
mean,
I
yeah,
think
I mean, it gives us a little bit of an insight, but it's not great.
yeah, I believe that they'll talk about it. They'll definitely reference certain things that they have done in the past.
Mhm.
I doubt they'll make massive thing about them because it's not as important, at least in the context of the fact that it's after Order 66. They're not like that anymore, most
Yeah,
likely.
yeah, I think it'll be the way they'll do it is in flashbacks. I mean, it's unless they have a prequel episode, which would be good for like maybe the starting episode or the ending episode. It'll be one of those things where we'll get an episode where we'll see a mission, or maybe someone will get knocked out and they have a flashback or like a dream about a mission in the past, something like that. It's hard to tell with the information we've got, and of course nothing's come out yet regarding trailers or episodes, or we've had a graphic, we've had a picture, but that's about it. So is there anything else you'd like to add on previous missions?
Previous missions, no, don't really
No,
think so. There's not really much
we
about
can
them.
imagine that they're going to be, if we do hear about previous missions, they're going to be badass, like they're going to be cool.
Yes, that's
Like
without a doubt.
we're in for something cool with previous missions. Question three will be overall, what would you like to see? Obviously, it's going to be after Order 66. We're kept like it's kind of enclosed. We've not got a lot of thinking space. But what would you like to see? Obviously, I spoke about Maz's castle. What personally would you like to see? Like character appearances, anything like that? What would you like to see?
Obviously, we've got Echo returning, which I'm
Mhm.
very excited for. He's the only surviving member of Domino Squad now.
Yeah,
So I think I'd like to see some references to Rex and to
yeah,
Fives and to, Heavy and Cut Up and to everyone who Echo has known throughout his life.
mhm.
I think that'd be really cool to see. I'm very
Yeah.
excited to see star-studded cast of D. Bradley Baker, D. Bradley Baker, D. Bradley Baker, and D. Bradley Baker. I think that'll be cool. I'm presuming he's going to be playing all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what Dave Filoni can come up with.
I mean,
Um,
obviously, with him being the producer of Rebels, The Clone Wars, Mandalorian, he's not disappointed. Like
yeah, no, he
he's
hasn't.
he's been really good with what he's created, what he's produced. We're promised good things, and I think we'll get good things. I don't think they'll disappoint. I think that's the one thing with Star Wars is that the TV shows have been up to standard. They've been what Star Wars fans have been wanting to see.
Yeah,
You never know. You never know, but it'll be good. That's what I'm hoping for.
yeah.
But anything you'd like to add to what else would you like to see in season one? Maybe like some Lando. He often appears quite a lot.
Um,
Han Solo running, Chewbacca.
I don't see a lot of
Yeah.
references to previously,
Mm.
like previous characters.
Yeah,
I
that's
doubt we will get a lot of that.
Yeah, one of the worries is that I kind of just came up with this the now, but one of my worries is that they'll do like a classic. We've heard of Luke Skywalker, the Chosen One. I kind of want them to stay away from that. We've got Rebels for the kind of Jedi like finding the Chosen One type thing.
I mean, Luke Skywalker was a complete unknown
Yeah.
to most of the galaxy
Mhm.
until Zero ABY when he blew up the Death Star.
I think we need to kind of. I don't really want to see any massive reference to the Jedi. Obviously, you've kind of got to because it's after Order 66, and Order 66 obviously involved all the Jedi. But
Yeah,
I think they should try and keep it away and keep it more about them surviving in the Empire.
yes, because clones with those sort of genetic mutations, they're either going to be desirable to the Empire or a danger to the Empire.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll keep the laser swords out of it. Maybe it'd be nice to see Darth Vader because everyone loves a Vader appearance.
Vader, I think, is somebody who will show up at least for a little bit.
Yeah, in an episode or something, like a nice fight between. Because I can imagine him and Wrecker squaring up to each other.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen Anakin lead the Bad
Yeah.
Batch on a mission.
So
Let's
yeah, it'll
see
be nice to.
what happens if
Mhm.
Vader finds the Bad Batch.
Yeah. So it'll be good to see them reuniting and what happened. Okay, so moving on swiftly, we have the Lego Cantina set.
Yeah,
Are you gonna list all your sets again? We were recording just there, but the recording software we used failed. So you're gonna list your Lego sets again? I don't know if I can hear it again.
right. Okay, so from left to right, we've got Lego X-Wing, Lego Millennium Falcon, Lego Anakin's Pod Racer, Lego Big Bang Theory, Lego Mustafar, Lego Jedi and Clone Battle Pack, Lego Death Star, which is the, centerpiece, and Lego Empire State Building.
Or did you finally get the Empire State Building built?
Yep, that's all done.
You have to send me a picture of that. We're moving on to the Mos Eisley Cantina. This is probably one of the big sets of the year,
Yeah, I hope to add it to my collection.
coming in at £319.99.
Yep,
It's a big in.
3,187 pieces as well.
It's including 21 minifigures.
Yeah.
That was quite nice. I like that. It's pretty big. It's gonna be a big set. It's interesting. It's the first big Mos Eisley Tatooine set we've had. Obviously, we've had bits and bobs coming out from Tatooine. We've had Obi-Wan Kenobi's hut, 70,000 Luke land speeders. What else we've had?
I've had Jabba's Palace.
Yeah. Did we not also get that big Jawa? Oh, I can't remember what it's called.
We've got the Sandcrawler as well.
Sandcrawler. A lot of Mos Eisley Tatooine type sets. We'll dive right in, and what we'll do is before we share our big opinions on it, we'll have a talk about the minifigure. So it comes with a Luke Skywalker figure. You weren't gonna miss it. You needed it.
Yeah, no, that's necessary.
Yeah, we've got Ben Kenobi, another old man Obi-Wan. You couldn't miss it again. You've got both C-3PO and R2-D2, both the droids that you are not looking for.
Yep.
You've got Han Solo and Chewbacca. Obviously, they made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. 2 Sand Troopers, which will be interesting to see. Obviously, we've had them in the past, but
I do really like the
they look.
little textures of sand on them.
I also like the orange shoulder piece that I really like.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. A Jawa, which probably wouldn't be allowed in the Cantina, but there is a couple of extra pieces that come with the set, which we will get to in a moment. The probably the thing that's going to stand out for most people, and that's 3 members of the Cantina band.
Here's a little trivia for you. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. What are the name of that band?
Well, I want to say the Cantina band, but you're not. That's obviously wrong.
Yes, it is wrong. It's Figrin Dan and the Modal Nodes. That's the name of the band. And can you tell me what genre of music they play?
Go for it.
Jizz. That's the genuine name, Jizz, as in Jizz. That is the name of the genre of music that these guys play.
See, the thing is that I get we've got to be really nerdy with Star Wars and stuff, but when you get stuff like that, sometimes you just feel like, you know what, screw you, George Lucas. I'm going to Star Trek. Like,
I mean, it's meant to be a play on of jazz, but I think
yeah.
he could have chosen something a little bit better.
So that band is a lot more explicit than I thought. The 3 members of the Cantina band, obviously, I can't even remember who we're talking about, like what they were called. But we've also got Greedo. Did he shoot first?
Depends what version you
Did Han shoot
watch.
first? Who do you think? That's true. In the latest version, it was Greedo shot first, wasn't it?
Yep, and that's the version I
But
think we need to pay attention to because it's how George Lucas would have wanted it. So we've also got some unique minifigures in Ponda Baba, Dr. Evazan, Garen Dan.
I was
Should
going
I
to say
try and
there.
pronounce that?
What is it?
Cardusaimalok. Or
Oh god,
something
see,
like
there's
that.
so many like side characters and figures in that set. There's so many. Like, I had a little note written down because I was just not going to be able to pronounce all the names. I've literally got "He doesn't like you, man" written down.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't. There was just so many names, but I'll let you continue listing those.
Yeah, I've got the character. Oh God, I know this guy's name, but it's completely gone up my mind right now. He's more commonly known as Hammerhead, but he does
Yeah.
have a proper name. I've also got a character which I mainly remember from the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, known as in that game the Imperial Spy.
Yeah, that's what I think he's listed under in the set.
Yeah, I wouldn't
The
be
guy with
surprised.
the big long nose type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's just known as the Imperial Spy. He might have had another name, I'm not 100% sure, but he's in
yeah.
the set. And I feel like that's the first time we've seen him in a Lego set, isn't it?
To my knowledge, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
We also get a dewback,
which is
which is
cool.
it's an animal that we see ridden by a stormtrooper.
Wasn't that? I was listening to another Star Wars related podcast, and I heard that was an elephant with a
Um,
big coating over it. I don't know how true it was or
hmm,
not, but supposedly it was an elephant with
it
like
looks a
a
little too
coating.
small.
It
I
was a
mean,
baby elephant.
okay, then yeah, that probably was.
I don't know how true it is or not. I just heard the rumor.
Yeah, I mean it's possible.
For its time, it's possible.
Yeah,
But is that all our figures listed?
yeah, that's all the figures.
All 21 minifigures. It's a set that is too good to be true, almost. It's a set a lot of people have been waiting for a long time. The question is it on your Christmas list?
Oh, 100%,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, see, the thing is that with me being a bit late to the Lego scene, I've obviously started off up there. I've got the Mandalorian battle pack and the Mustafar fight scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I put a picture of that up on Facebook, and I got told that I needed to switch Obi-Wan and Anakin over because Obi-Wan didn't have the high ground, which totally went past me. I didn't even notice it.
It's to be fair, at that point it kind of makes sense because that's before he jumps onto the
Yeah,
hill
but I thought
where he
just
gains the high ground.
I thought it'd be funny though, just to like give him the high ground, just
Yeah,
for there. Personally, the Mos Eisley Cantina set, with me being new to the Lego Star Wars scene, there's a lot more sets I want to get before it. So it's definitely in my sights. It's in the future, but I don't know if I'm going
yeah.
to get it right away. Obviously, it's an amazing set. It's magnificent, but it's not one that I want personally. It's a set that I think a lot of people are going to pick up. It's a really cool set. It's got a lot of figures. I know I'm going to definitely aim for it in the near future. I know you're going to aim for it in the next week or so.
Yeah,
So that'll be a wrap for the Mos Eisley Cantina, and we're going to bring it back now to the TV shows. Obviously, was it last week? It would have been. I remember this. It would have been not last week, but the week just before. We got the Mandalorian season 2 trailer.
yes, finally, after so long of
About
waiting for
time.
the trailer.
Yeah. And what was frustrating about it before we like throw ourselves into it is that it was meant to come out weeks before that, but I think there was a delay in finishing.
Yeah, I mean that's always likely to
Yeah,
happen.
obviously we had COVID. It wasn't fantastic.
Okay, so what are your expectations for season 2?
I think it's going to be good, but it's not going to be as good as the first season. I
Yeah, okay,
loved
that's
Mandalorian season 1. Like from start to finish, I thought it was fantastic.
I mean, I don't have as a
I
glowing
know
review of it.
I know your opinion's different. I think we've discussed this like loads before, but
Yeah,
we'll
I mean,
discuss it again.
I like it. I do like it.
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
but
There were too
I
many
think
filler episodes, is my issue.
I think because I think when it comes down to the term Star Wars fans, I think we're kind of very different. You're a very Clone Wars, the cartoons, maybe. I don't know. I don't actually know what your favorite films are. Obviously, if you can quickly just hit me with them now, that'd be great. But if it's going to turn The Mandalorian season 2 into a topic about films, I don't want to go there.
It's dependent on certain things. As films themselves, the prequels are a bit lower down, but in terms of purely thinking about storyline and the lore and
Yeah.
what came from it, the prequels are pretty high up because
Yeah.
obviously that's where the Clone Wars comes in. But
Yeah.
my favorite Star Wars film is Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. Well, I know you're like massive on the clones, the Jedi and stuff, but I prefer the side of Star Wars with the politics, the smugglers. That's
Oh
why
no, I'm not brave enough for politics.
that's why when the Martez sisters arc came out, that obviously wasn't great, but I really liked it because it gave us that inside of the crime world, and that's why.
It was good, and the best thing that it did was it showed us how much people had lost faith in the Republic and the Jedi.
And it gave us more insight. And that's why like films like Solo are like really high up on my list because I just love the underworld, the smugglers, the crime, the Mandalorian clans and all that stuff, like this is the way, stuff like that. It interests me
Mm.
so much. I think that Mandalorian season 1, it had a lot of filler episodes, but it helped give Din Djarin character and stuff.
It set a
It-
scene for a different side of Star Wars.
Yeah, it was different. It didn't feel like Star Wars. Like that's one thing me and my dad both agree on. You don't think you're watching Star Wars until it gets back to the main story with Cara Dune and the last couple of episodes with I can't remember his name now, Moff Gideon.
Yeah, Moff Gideon.
And like the dark saber and stuff, which I'm going to be honest, you used to bang on about the dark saber a lot. That must have been cool for you to see.
That was very cool for me to see.
Yeah, obviously it was.
I mean, obviously you kind of expect to see it because it is a Mandalorian weapon. So it's not surprising we saw it.
It was see when I started watching Star Wars, I started with the Mandalorian. Obviously, I'd seen all the films in the past and stuff, but I started with the Mandalorian, getting back into it. So when I saw the darksaber, I was like, "Whoa, that's just a black lightsaber. That's cool." But for you seeing it, obviously you've seen the Clone Wars,
It's in Rebels as well.
Yeah, like Rebels, Maul killing folk with the dark saber, like cuts off some guy's head with it in Clone Wars.
Yeah, and kills Duchess Satine with it as well.
Yeah, like it's
Obi-Wan's lover right in front of him.
like you've seen it, like you've got like a bit of like story with it. When you see it, you kind of were like, holy crap, it's back again.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, oh hey, that's a pretty cool black lightsaber. But if I was to go back and watch the Mandalorian now, it'd have a lot more
Impact.
meaning to me. Yeah, like it'd be a lot more cool. But personally, I loved the Mandalorian. There was only a couple of episodes where I felt pain to watch, but I loved it to bits, and it's probably my favorite series. But when I say that, like I think my favorite season will be season 1. I don't think season 2 can live up to it because it's going.
Yeah, that's the only issue with sequels.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just can't live up to how if the first one was really good, usually they can't really live up to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, season 2 obviously I think is not going to have as much filler episodes. Obviously, we've got rumors that Ahsoka is coming, Boba Fett. Well, the actor who played all the clones, Jango Fett and stuff.
Tamura Morrison.
He updated his profile in Australia to say Mandalorian season 2 Boba Fett. So it looks like Boba Fett's coming back.
And if you check the IMDb cast list, I'm not going to say who's on there, but you'll see who's in there.
And then obviously Sabine from Rebels. She's
there's rumors, yeah.
But
also rumors for Bo-Katan Kryze.
Yeah, there was a clip in the trailer with the woman with the hooded robe over
that's
her head.
what was her name? Sasha Banks, like the wrestler.
Yeah,
Wasn't
and she's potentially in for playing Sabine. A lot of people think that was Sabine there, but you can only find these things out when the first episode releases on October 31st.
I mean, looking at her now, there's this potential. She can kind of look the part.
Yeah, I mean, obviously hair and makeup does wonders in the movie worlds.
Of course, yeah.
So I think like anyone could play Sabine. I could even chuck on like a wig with her hair color and rock up as her. I think I'd do quite the job.
That's true.
But I'm really looking forward to it. What I'd like to see is I'd like to learn so much more about the child. I don't like calling the child. I like obviously a lot of Star Wars fans get annoyed when they call the child Baby Yoda, but I think it's weird to say, oh, I'm going to go buy a plushie of the child.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't mind all that all too much.
I think we're going to stick with Baby Yoda on this show, just because it's a name.
It's more well known. It's more obvious.
When we get a name for him, we'll go by that. So I think season 2 we're going to learn a bit more about him.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn about the species.
Yeah,
we've only seen Yaddle, Yoda, and Baby Yoda.
And then I think there's a little bit of talk in the comic books of their species, but nothing big. Like
we don't even know their name.
Yeah, they go by the Yoda species in the Star Wars universe. So I think we need to. Like, I don't think we'll get a name this season.
No, I think that's something that will always remain a mystery.
I think we'll eventually get a name, but it'll be season 3, season 4 Mandalorian, or
I kind of hope it doesn't go beyond season 3, if I'm being honest.
That's something we can get into another day. We're talking about season 2 now. But I think we need to learn a bit more about it, and if there's more out there. And obviously, we need to find out what these magic space wizards are doing that are enemies to the were enemies to the Mandalorian. Because obviously Din Djarin's got to take Baby Yoda to the Jedi, or find out a bit about the Jedi, which, here's just a theory, this is really good for a touched up Mark Hamill to make an appearance and like throw the child over his shoulder or something like he did with the lightsaber.
I don't think so.
Like, I'm a big thinker, and like this is a chance for like Mark Hamill to make an appearance or something. And obviously he's got his Jedi Order running and stuff. He's got little Ben Solo who could be played by some child with black hair with like gothic makeup on, like the whiny
Yeah.
brat he is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just the more I think about it, the more I understand why Ahsoka could be in it.
Yeah.
Because you know, I don't think Mando's going to be looking for Baby Yoda's homeworld.
Yeah.
Because who in the universe knows where that is?
Mm-hmm.
He might be looking for Jedi.
It would be a very long season if he looks for the homeworld.
Yeah, he'll be looking for any Jedi that he can find who can then take Baby Yoda to wherever he needs to be.
See, that's the thing though, is that it'll be weird because this is the part where Filoni needs to get it right in making it clear that Ahsoka isn't a Jedi.
Because Ahsoka
Like
is
he
not.
needs to make it clear. Yeah, she isn't. So she needs to like, if Ahsoka is coming back, it needs to be oh, I'm not a Jedi, but I can show you the way. Like this is the way.
Yeah, that sort of a thing.
Yeah, like I can take you.
Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are two people who they really, really understand Star Wars. They're Star Wars fans first and foremost, which is always a good thing to see.
You kind of have to be when making films or series about Star Wars. Any show really, but with Star Wars you have to get it perfect because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see what they do with the Mandalorian season 2. Obviously they've got a lot of playing field to go off. Like they've got so much they can do with it.
Yeah, they can really go in any direction they want to.
They need to get it right.
I just hope they don't rely too much on the hype around Baby Yoda.
Yeah, but they need to get it. They need to get it right. They need to. If there is going to be Jedi, the magic space wizards, they need to hit the hammer, the nail on the head with the hammer.
Yes.
They need to get it perfect because if not, then it'll just be another like I'm only sitting through this because it's Star Wars, which we don't want. But I don't think they'll do that. Dave Filoni will get this. He'll do a good job.
Yeah.
But there's so much you can theorize, and it's something we could go off on all day. You were saying something just there.
No, it's fine. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I think we both are. I think every Star Wars fan on planet Earth will be looking forward to it because I don't think The Mandalorian got hideous reviews. I think every Star Wars fan I've come in contact with have really enjoyed The Mandalorian. Even some non-Star Wars fans, like we're in for something good.
Yeah,
October the 31st, when it rolls around, you won't hear from me for a while because I'll be watching it.
Yeah, same here.
But I think that's kind of running out of time a wee bit.
Yeah,
we've had a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. First episode in, bit nervous, but we got to the end.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, and it'll even get better. So everyone should keep on listening.
Well, that we'll call it. We'll close the curtains here. Follow. Right, I've not got all my plugs up and ready, but whatever you see on the screen, I've got my Snapchat, I've got an Instagram there, I've got my Facebook page where I'll share anything Star Wars, the Han Solo core page, anything Star Wars, get it over there, along with podcast updates. We've got our YouTube channel just there, both our own YouTube channels and a couple other social medias that I probably don't care about have been chucked on the screen. Rory, I'll let you do your plugs and
I mean,
close the
I'm
curtains.
hoping my plugs will just be on that screen as well, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just follow all them. Just do that. That's all I can say.
Obviously, if you want to follow the podcast, get some updates on it, you're probably best to head to Facebook and follow Yariel Poofcore and Han Solo Core.
Yeah, we'll definitely be updates on there.
Yeah, you're going to get most of the updates and news about the podcast. So, I was your host, Hamish Smith. That's Rory Williams, co-host. I kind of feel like I talked down to him. He's just as much important in this podcast as I am.
Yeah, I'm the expert here. He's just the idea maker. I'm the brains.
I want to argue that because it's insulting, but it's true. So I hope everyone has enjoyed the first episode. We'll be back with another episode in no time. Thank you for listening. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
See you.